On September 13th, 2014, a user on a foreign website uploaded two disturbing recordings. The individual claimed to have bought a used camera and memory card from an antique shop, and that both storage devices contained strange videos. First video, filmed in 2004. It shows what appear to be two teenagers exploring an abandoned school with a camera. At the beginning, the lens focuses on a completely dark door. At 49 seconds into the footage, a strange sound seems to emerge. The two young men panic so much that they immediately turn off the recording. The audio in English includes the phrases, "Wait a minute, did you do that?" No, you see, the image becomes slightly blurry, making it impossible to see what caused the door to suddenly move. Second video. Recorded in 2003, the camera is pointed directly at a person's eye. The individual, staring intensely into the lens, repeatedly asks, "Do you see something in my eye?" He seemed convinced that something was trapped inside it, although the footage initially seems ordinary, with nothing apparently wrong with the man's eye. A user in the comment section raised a chilling observation. Did no one notice that at the 25th second, his right eye looks like it's missing the eyeball? It's important to note that none of these questions were ever answered. What really happened to the people who recorded these bizarre videos remains a mystery. The owner of the channel who uploaded them vanished completely from the internet shortly after posting. 3. The red dress case in Hainan. On May 6, 2021, a video of a woman in a red dress dancing on the ledge of a 25th floor apartment balcony went viral online, causing massive public reaction. In the footage, the woman wears a red hat, a long red dress, even her shoes are red. She grips the edge of the balcony as she performs subtle dance movements. Though her choreography isn't extreme, she wasn't using any safety equipment. The footage quickly drew attention from netizens. Many criticized the woman for risking her life for attention, while others questioned whether the video was even real. Soon after, another user uploaded footage from a different angle, claiming the situation was real and that the woman had been dancing there for several days. Tragically, she eventually fell to her death. At 12:52 p.m. on May 6th, Sanya police received a report and rushed to the condominium. The investigation revealed that the woman had left a farewell letter in her room. Its contents suggested she had planned the act in advance. In the note, she expressed two final wishes. First, to donate her organs to kind and grateful people so they could fulfill her dreams. Second, to have her ashes scattered at sea. A peculiar detail stood out. The letter was typed with only a handwritten signature, and the paper was wrinkled and folded. When the viral videos were enhanced, viewers noticed another man in the room, recording the woman with a cell phone. But who was he? Later footage surfaced of a security guard trying to intervene, warning her, "It's very dangerous like that. Look, it's very, very high." It turns out that before the woman's fall, the condominium guard had gone to the apartment. A suspicious man opened the door. When he saw the guard, he stood sideways behind the door, carefully avoiding being seen clearly. Although this man was taken in for questioning afterward, the police report never mentioned what he was doing there. When the guard warned the woman about the danger, she merely replied that she was filming a video. If her goal was to gain views online, why has her account never been found? If it was a planned suicide, why did she keep dancing for days in the same red dress? On May 7th, police found several cigarette butts, used tissues, and a white bottle with a medicinal smell in the room. Most intriguingly, they found a food delivery receipt showing that on the morning of the incident, a customer named Miss Mai had ordered breakfast. The victim had a different last name, so who was Miss Mai? The condominium staff later recalled that the room's rent was expensive, over $1,000 per night. When they went up to persuade the woman, they noticed the bed had been dragged but never used. The sheets were untouched. Another strange detail, during the dance, the woman wore a shoulder bag. Whether it was a suicide or a performance, there seemed to be no reason to wear it. The ambiguities surrounding this case turned what might have been a simple dance video into something deeply disturbing. 2. The childhood whistle. On December 20th, 2015, a Reddit user shared a video along with a terrifying story from his childhood. The tale transformed an otherwise ordinary clip into something chilling. The story begins when the user, whom we'll call Cock, was 8 years old, walking with his mother and their dog around 11 p.m. While strolling through the neighborhood, they suddenly heard whistling coming from a nearby swamp. It sounded somewhat like a bird song, yet each whistle was different, with a rhythm that felt disturbingly human. The pitches varied, high and low, echoing eerily in the dark street. Cock noticed the look of fear on his mother's face. She grabbed his hand tightly and whispered, "We need to go home now." Cock was too young to understand what was happening at the time. Years passed, and the memory faded until he turned 24. He and his girlfriend were visiting Missouri, stopping by a lakeside to watch fireworks. There weren't many people around. The sky was darkening and a massive storm was brewing. Looking back, the atmosphere was unsettling. Cock noticed a police boat pushing others away from the area. As the fireworks began, Cock started filming. Suddenly, he heard the same whistle from his childhood, this time behind him. The sound was constant and unbroken. Cock turned slowly and noticed a rowboat about 20 meters away on the lake. He didn't dare point his camera directly at it, so he pretended to film the fireworks further downriver. Gathering courage, Cock zoomed in on the rowboat. It was too dark to see who was inside. When the boat aligned with his position, it stopped, then turned directly toward him. The whistling continued. At that moment, Cock felt chills down his spine. He stood and shouted, "Who are you?" The figures said nothing, only whistled a few more times, turned the boat around, and disappeared into the darkness. In the video's comment section, many forum users shared their own theories. One wrote, "Sometimes the sound was distant, other times it seemed to come from our living room. The weird thing is, our apartment was on a busy street, with a bus stop outside, so there was constant noise. But when the windows were closed, the buses disappeared, yet the whistling stayed. We heard it for months. Same pitch, almost identical to this video. We moved away and it never happened again. But it terrified me. No one ever discovered who the whistler was or why they returned to Cock's life 14 years later." Sure, here is the English translation of the text. 1. The strange carpet buried in the backyard on September 29th, 2024. A user who identified herself as Katie posted a disturbing video. According to Katie, she and her boyfriend had just moved into the house. The house had large windows and a spacious backyard, which made it a comfortable place to live and work. However, on September 29th, Katie opened her office door as usual and found the room completely messed up. Her computer screen, which had been properly closed, was broken. Katie's first reaction was to think the house had been broken into. Yet all the doors and windows were intact. Furthermore, if it were a thief, why wouldn't they have taken the computer? This meant no one had entered. So what could have caused all that mess? Katie immediately connected this to something that had happened a few months earlier. When they first moved in, she and her boyfriend were cleaning the backyard and accidentally found something resembling a carpet buried in the earth. The carpet seemed to be wrapping some kind of object. Near where the carpet was buried, there was a tree. Analyzing the tangled roots of the tree suggested that the carpet had been buried for a very long time. They soon unearthed a tag with words like sun, red, and carpet in the dirt. These words inevitably evoked sinister associations. Internet users intensely discussed the issue in the comments, making several assumptions about what might be hidden in the carpet. Some suggested it could be a hidden treasure, others an old owner's pet, and there were even those who thought of an aborted fetus. However, the most upvoted comment mentioned a single word: corpse. At this point, many users, including police officers from other cities who commented, insisted that Katie call the police. Katie decided to follow their advice. However, due to the lack of concrete evidence, The police informed her they could not dedicate more resources to the case. They left the decision to Katie. If she chose to dig and found anything, she could contact them again. Considering how much work the excavation process would be, Katie began to hesitate. At the same time, she did some research and discovered that the house had only had one single owner before they moved in. Neighbors said the former resident was a decent, normal person, which didn't sound like the type of person who would bury a body in the backyard. In the video, Katie explained that digging a hole 2 meters long by 1 meter deep and then having to fill it back up again was a huge undertaking. However, internet users were not satisfied, as they wanted to know what was inside the carpet. Finally, on October 2nd, she posted a new video saying, "Okay everyone, let's go for it." Just as Katie was about to start digging, the property owner called. They said they would send detection dogs to Katie's house. If the dogs didn't detect anything unusual, Katie could continue the excavation. But if they did detect something, the police would need to cordon off the backyard for investigation. Soon after, the detection dogs arrived. Katie live-streamed the entire process, and hundreds of thousands of viewers watched the police work. To avoid interference, the police decided that 2 dogs would inspect the scene, one at a time. The expert explained that if a dog sat down, it would indicate something suspicious beneath the ground. Both 2 dogs sat down, which certainly meant something was there. The next day, more police officers arrived with an excavator. This time, they did not allow Katie to live stream. According to what Katie later relayed, the police finally unearthed the carpet. The wrapped object was not a corpse, but rather a pile of old rubber pieces. After filling the hole, the police took the carpet and left. The case seemed closed, but people still had countless questions. Why would someone bury a carpet with pieces of rubber so deep in the ground? Why did both 2 detection dogs have the same reaction at the carpet's location? How did Katie's computer break? Could it all just be coincidences? Currently, one internet user's comment seems to offer a possible explanation for everything. The police took the carpet for additional forensic analysis. Therefore, they are sure that something happened on the carpet. Also, remember that often crime scene investigators do not disclose all information because they want criminals to think they got away with it. Just because they said there was no body does not necessarily mean there was no body. Just because you did not see it does not mean they did not find it.